Not necessarily bad, but you see the market reaction here, Dan. What exactly were you expecting to get out of this, and did you see it?
Well, I thought it was a stellar number. As you talked about before, coming in over 8 million new subs when, the consensus was at 4.8 million. Even the whisper numbers that I saw were kind of like 6.5 million. So that's a huge beat, a beat on revenues, a beat on earnings per share. The only thing I think of, Scarlett and Romaine, with the sell-off is, let's face reality. Netflix stock is up 40% year to date. It's been one of the best performers in the tech space. And you may just be getting a little bit of that old, buy on the rumor, sell on the good news, because it looked like a strong beat, just on the faceline numbers. I don't see anything that I can point to that's negative that would be a reason for the stock to trade down.
Go ahead.
Tim was telling us earlier how Netflix used to say its biggest competition was sleeping, but now it's pointing out that its biggest competition is people watching other forms of television and not Netflix. That being the case, this is an election year, and all the drama that's taking place is on the broadcast channels or on cable television. It's not on Netflix. Netflix's escapism from the volatility of politics.
Yeah.
Is that going to be something that hurts Netflix down the road as this election season gets more and more unconventional?
Well, that's a good point. And, if you look at the most recent data that came out in terms of streaming services, the number 1 and 2 were Netflix and YouTube. And this may favor YouTube a little bit more than it would favor Netflix, as you just mentioned, Scarlett, coming into this political season, because obviously you can dial into your YouTube and watch the convention or whatever you want to watch. So where Netflix is, as you mentioned, escapism effect. So I'm wondering if that market share data may change a little bit. The other streamers all kind of carve out kind of single-digit market share. You look at Hulu and Disney Plus and all these different things are kind of this, mid-single digit. So they're the two top players. But in this environment going forward, I think you're right. It would favor a company like Broadcast Channel, or also in terms of potentially like a YouTube.
I'm glad you brought up YouTube, because even in the shareholder letter, Netflix kind of points out, their market share relative to their competitors, and pretty much everyone is behind them, with the exception of YouTube, which continues to dominate. And I think a lot of folks who certainly have kids of a certain age know that YouTube is probably much more of a must-see TV for a lot of folks out there than Netflix, Hulu, or certainly the linear TV networks. Should Netflix maybe have its eyes much more on YouTube than worrying about Hulu or Disney and the others?
Well, it's a good point, Romaine, but they're different content, right? YouTube has a different format. You can watch some event that occurred, yesterday in that effect. They don't have the polished content that you would have on a Netflix. I still think they would still be thought of as competing against the Disneys and the HBOs and the Hulas, opposed to, let's say, trying to come out with the type of content that YouTube does. It's just kind of they're much different animals, no doubt about that.
Well,